And good Saturday morning. Overcast skies. No rain this morning. Didn't see any rain in here. Anybody, did you? On your way in or anything? No. All moved out. We didn't really get a lot of rain, I don't think. I don't know how to measure rain. 0.2 of an inch. That's my guess at the most. Yeah. I don't even think we got that much. But it was dreary all day yesterday.
Yes.
And it's supposed to clear off today, be sunny, but the cold, Brett's favorite.
Coming back
again. Yeah, three straight nights of 20s, mid-20s or below.
Starting tonight.
Oh. Get it rolling. Well, we had spring in February.
We did.
Now we're going to have.
And everything started busting out, blooming.
Yeah. And I know I'm not a farmer, and I'm pretty sure Mike's never done any farming. Rick Mitchum's the only resident farmer we would have. Right. In here occasionally, but and I know Brett's done no farming. He might occasionally eat what comes off a farm.
Farm to table.
He used to do some pH farming at the drugstore.
To do some farm to table, I'm sure.
Farming's with a P. Oh, that's what he said. pH.
Yeah. pH.
The only kind he's ever done. But the plants, are they in danger? That's why, I mean the plants that are already blooming because of the early spring, and now you have to make sure they don't freeze.
Yep.
And 3 nights in a row, that seems like that'd be tough.
Yeah.
3 nights in a row coming up. We are on. I've got confirmation as far as WLON, the radio portion goes. We are on. You guys can tell me about the Facebook and and Rodney Willis will tell me about the God, why can't I think of the name of it right now?
Tune
in. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Milton Sane.
Milton Sane on Facebook this morning. Good morning as well.
On Facebook.
Jason Barber is on the floor.
He's on
the
floor.
Sitting on a chair
He's
over
live.
here next to Mike Powell. And glad to have him in here. Lenny Anthony may join us as well in a little bit. And
we're going to break it all down.
Yes, we are. We'll flip to see who buys breakfast. We'll flip a coin or draw a straw. I will lose. I'll lose. Mike Powell won't flip. He won't be in that competition for the fear.
The fear factor.
Yeah,
there.
He and Rick.
Picking up everybody's check.
Have you ever picked up everybody's check when it was more than you and one other person? Have you ever picked up everybody's check when it was more than you and one? Can't recall, so that answers my question.
I have picked it up for at least one other person. Though.
Yeah, so that sounds like you don't do that very often.
No.
Even though
that's Steve K. I pick up.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about your
if
lady
I invite
friend
someone
and
to lunch,
your lady
I'll
friend.
Pick it up.
I'm guessing that you're the Barney Fife of the dates, and let's go Dutch. Who else? I remember always George Costanza. I'm sure he always wants his
well,
dates
what is
to
appropriate
pay.
In today's Me Too?
I don't know.
Generation?
I don't have to worry about it. I do not know.
No, that's right.
Twitter's $200 dates first date.
Woo! $200 dates first date.
That's according to Twitter. That's what they have out there.
That's
well, a night out, a dinner out can run easily $200.
Where are you going, Mike?
Right.
Tell me. Where are you going?
Well,
where are you going dinner for easy? I know there's places and there's great restaurants, and it's worth it a lot of times if you do it occasionally. But it's not something you want to do every weekend.
Not every weekend. Occasionally.
So where are you going that it can run into $200? And I'm sure
that's on the occasion.
And I'm sure drinks. You're figuring those in, right? You're figuring in drinks as well.
Well, mostly I've encountered those at the beach, like say Sea Captain and Myrtle.
Yeah, so that's when you hung out longer than you should have. Right, and the bill started piling up.
Or Frank's and Pauly's Island. That's another one. But
So
usually those.
So not the local.
Not the local.
I spent local 135 last weekend.
Locally?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He did. Yep.
That's possible. What city was that in?
Mooresville.
Okay. I bet you went to the Chop House.
I bet you're wrong.
Yeah. You can easily drop.
I know this much.
It's not somewhere I expected to spend that much.
He
money.
went somewhere, but it was too crowded, and then he went to
somewhere else.
Another one.
This other one.
And I'll give him a hint. Don't say the name on the air, Mike. Okay.
Okay.
Has a race car on top of it. or two. Always has, hadn't it, Brett? Still on there?
I think so. I don't even know for sure.
You got there in the dark.
Yeah.
And when I got there last time, yeah, with our buddy Carl.
With our buddy,
Back in the
Carl
day.
Henline.
Yep.
We've done that before.
And we found out something about Jason that night
What?
at the dinner table. Well, I'll share that with you during the break too. You might not want that brought up on live television when we are on television, live air. But yeah, it's what got us to that? Where did we go that we started? I mean, what got us to how much? Oh, I was asking Mike if he'd ever
What takes
picked up
us
the
anywhere
tab.
we go.
I would love to know if Rick Mitchum's ever picked up a tab for more than one other person.
I can't imagine.
And of course you can't.
I
You
wonder,
can't imagine anybody
I
doing
wonder if Rick Mitchum has ever dropped 150
Mike's,
for a meal, which I have.
I doubt that. I do doubt that. I would be surprised if.
I'm not going to bring up the hamburger helper.
Well, what Rick does is he'll. Good morning, Rick. If you're out there, we
Rick,
don't pick on
he's
you.
not listening.
He'll eat at home before he goes on the date,
Yeah.
and then
Get
have
a side
house
salad.
Yeah,
A
side
house salad
yeah,
on the date.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. St. Patty's Day yesterday. Did you guys do anything special? St. Patty's Day. Did you wear green yesterday at all?
I did.
Anybody wear
I
green
did.
yesterday at all?
Yeah.
I wore a green shirt all day yesterday. Yep,
Yeah,
I
I
sure
wore
did.
a green pullover.
Yep. Brett better have. He's like me, of Irish descent. So
What'd they do? Drop the McKeever, the muh in the Keever?
yeah, it's just Kakeever. They
Keever.
dropped the muh.
We also have Stephen Lowe chiming in on Facebook.
Yeah, they probably wonder. They're probably already thinking this morning: is this a sports show, or is this a how much will you drop on dinner kind of show? I don't know, and I don't see the bills all the time, which is probably a good thing. You know, I like it that way. I don't know that I've ever dropped 200 on a meal.
Yeah.
No,
Well, to do that,
200
you almost
anyway.
have to buy a bottle of fairly upscale
Dom Perignon?
wine. Yeah. I mean,
How much is the going rate this day for a bottle of Dom?
Yeah,
150,
I don't know.
or is it more? I don't know.
I
Either.
have no
I
idea.
don't either.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I drink mostly red wine, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, a good bottle of wine, $60-$70. That's a big chunk of it right there.
300 for Dom Perignon now.
Hmm.
So that's off the shelf. So if you bought it at a restaurant,
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be
350, 400.
500.
For real, you think so? They mark it up
Probably.
that much?
You mark it up.
Wow.
They do mark
Wow.
it up.
So you're telling me a dollar beer in a restaurant might go for $4.95?
The shock of it all.
No, we're close. But I'm looking at the shock.
Mhm.
I'm looking at the shock.
850 for
You can move over beside of Mike and occasionally
Yeah,
just
sure.
you can $8.50.
$850 for a beer in a hotel in Orlando, Florida last week.
$8.50.
Oh boy.
$8.50 for
Domestic.
a beer.
Domestic.
Yeah.
Not even craft. Ooh. That's
Disney beer.
Yeah.
That's domestic. I don't know. This entered my mind as well. All these cruise ships. Did Disney start serving alcohol on their cruise ships? I've never been on a Disney cruise.
I would think so, but
well, I would.
I think at one time they didn't, did
Really?
they?
Really?
But I don't know the answer
Uncle
to that.
Walt wouldn't have liked that.
I don't know. You don't know that.
Uh,
We don't know. I don't know Walt that well. He might have been a guzzler back in the day. I don't know. All right, might as well get to it. As you would say, the big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
63-58 last night. 16 beats a 1 for only the second time
Shock
in
the
men's
world.
college basketball history. We go back and look at in the 60s and 70s, Mike, and maybe even early into the 80s. I'm sure number one's lost in the first round. If they actually had them, I don't even know if they seeded them that way. Back when UCLA was making it run, was there still 1 seeds and 2s? Do you
You
recall?
mean back in the
Because-
60s?
And 70s, they were still.
They only had 24 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, were they still 1 through whatever? I guess they were. I don't know how else you would do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some ones had to lose
So-
back in that.
so
era.
there were 24 at that time.
Yep.
Did they go from 24 to 64,
No.
or did they go to 32? 32.
And then,
and then
48.
Oh, they went to 48.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 48, I think it was. But now, we got two researchers here for sure. What year did we go to 64?
85.
85. He didn't even have to look that one up.
All right.
85. So, most of the people on Earth weren't alive when it was,
85.
below.
Well, that's all I
below
can.
the
That's all I could
64.
remember was 64.
And I still don't get
64
68 in
teams.
my head because do we consider the tournament has 68 now, or we consider it because it's play-in games is what they call it?
Well, they call it the first four now.
The first four.
With 24 teams, a team only had to win 2 games to get to the Final Four. Isn't that right? I mean,
If you got 24, somebody's getting buys.
yeah,
And then you would
that's
have
true.
to win just 2, I would guess, because
Yeah, you
get
bump it down to
16.
16.
Well,
yeah.
you'd have to win 3
I think during
to get to the championship. So
Yeah.
you're right.
during Alcindor's run with UCLA, and even before that, and then on into Walton's run, I don't. It was either 24 or 32.
But when did Final Four become a trademark? Because back then you really didn't. It wasn't nothing to get to Final Four. If you didn't
No.
win it,
I would guess around that same
wasn't
time.
publicized.
Early 80s, mid 80s
Yeah.
when they started.
Yeah, I would like to know that. When Final Four was trademarked by, isn't it trademarked by CBS?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not CBS. I don't know. Is it the NCAA?
I was reading something the other day that college basketball was really kind of a middling sport, and then in '69 they had the big match between Houston with Elvin Hayes and UCLA with Lou Alcindor. They had it in Houston, and I mean the Astrodome.
The court looked like that from your seat.
Yeah, 40,000.
Looked like my phone
yeah.
from your seat.
But they say that's kind of when college basketball really started to take off as a very popular sport,
Yeah.
showcasing those 2 teams and those 2 players.
When Bird and Magic played,
Oh yeah, that
was that?
That's
Did
79.
they call that the
79.
Final Four then? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it
79.
was. I think it was, but
Where was
again,
that? Where was that game? Y'all remember?
Same place the 2 semis were probably. I do not know where that Final Four was right off the top of my head. I do not. Let me tell you, you know how you can remember certain things? Okay, Mike, do you remember Judd's Pantry?
Judd's Pantry. I do not.
Where the new McDonald's is in Boger City now.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be a convenience store there, and that was the name of it. I was working at Harris Teeter on that night they played and stopped over there, and they had it on TV, and I stayed and watched the rest of the game. That's how I remember watching that, just like a couple blocks away from Harris Teeter, going there to get something. I don't even know, maybe gas, whatever. But I watched it in there. I remember watching it in there. Bird and Magic going at it. And how bad did, I know Magic won, but how bad did Michigan State? Obviously, they were a better team all the way around.
It ended up being about a 9 or 10 point game, didn't it,
Was it?
Jason? As I recall, the championship game between Indiana State and Michigan
What year were you
State.
born, Jason?
81.
He missed that
It was
one.
an 11-point game.
11?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike was right on it.
And the term Final Four was first used in 75. 75, and it's trademarked, of course, by the NCAA now.
Yep. You got the teams?
That one was in Salt Lake City. Not the one with Magic and Bird was in Salt Lake City.
Okay, Salt Lake City.
And that was another watershed game that brought college basketball into the forefront, obviously.
Did I read correctly? Did you guys see Gardner-Webb women made the tournament this year? And
Yeah.
didn't they get to play in their backyard, basically, in Greenville?
Greenville.
They did lose last night.
Yeah.
But they lost to Utah last night, I think. But they did
make it.
They didn't have to make. Utah traveled all the way across
Mm-hmm.
to the. I think it's still the West Regional, but they do it like the men do, and play Butch's
pods.
favorite word,
Here's
pods.
The one I don't understand is they had mediocre crowds, or have had, in Greensboro to watch Kentucky and whoever else is playing, and they send Duke to Orlando. And
Yeah.
Virginia to Orlando. That doesn't, from a pod standpoint.
And you do have 2 different regionals at that place, right? 2
Right.
at that place. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. So you got, what is that? 8 teams.
Mm-hmm.
8 teams playing 4 games on the first day, and it's 2 different regions. So they had the opportunity to put who they wanted there, unless somebody told them. And maybe Duke.
Well, I guess at a 5 seed, you don't really
that's what I was
deserve
going
to
to say.
play.
If Duke, that's what I was going
Yeah,
to
that's
say.
the
If
whole
they got a
key
5
right
seed,
there.
If Duke
they
was a
were not
1 or a
allowed.
2, they would have been in Greensboro.
Yeah.
But
Or how about a 4 would they have been in Greensboro?
And see, that's not really
don't
local
know.
for Kentucky. That's not,
No.
they were a 6, and they weren't going to get local either. being
No.
a 6 seed. So
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to have a good turnout and atmosphere
well, yeah,
at the arena,
that's true. That's one way to look
they
at
say
it.
they say that you can get tickets for like nothing.
But I'm surprised Kentucky didn't fill it up anyway. You know, I mean, with their following.
Well, it's
and
just that one
it
team.
is,
though.
what would you say, 6-hour drive?
Is Providence
Lexington
going to
to
fill it
Greensboro?
up? No.
Um,
Yeah, I'm sure Kentucky.
Yeah, Providence wouldn't fill it up
Yeah.
anywhere. I
Yeah,
would
Providence.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. So
who else? That's
Who
who
else
Kentucky
was-
beat, right?
yeah.
Was Providence?
who else was in Greensboro?
That's a good question.
Think right now.
So yeah, Kentucky and Kansas State tomorrow.
Wow. Kansas State last night then beat. I was watching some of that. Help me. Who did they beat last night?
Montana State.
Montana State.
So those
Yeah, I
are
should
your
remember that,
teams in the
Bobcats.
Greensboro pod. Now I ask you.
Well, look at the other pods, Mike. I guarantee you they're similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. You know, it's not being. Butch says you just can't let that word go, can you? The pods.
The pod.
Yeah. Now they even got pods that you can rent, and it sits on your street, and it says pods on the container for your enjoyment.
When I think of pods, I always think of that movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because the aliens
Oh, my
developed in a
gosh.
pod. Yeah, they were just hanging out in pods and they burst out.
Pitt's in Greensboro.
Pitt.
Another local.
So Xavier and Pitt will play
Xavier
tomorrow.
and
in
Pitt.
Greensboro.
Xavier, who survived yesterday, a scare. They were down 10
Yeah.
late in that game.
Those would be good games to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You going?
It's just
No.
Not that good. Not that good.
that's all I'm saying. It just seems like if you're trying to match
Well, I don't
up-
know. Mike said you get tickets for almost nothing.
You
I mean,
can. I mean, I read a story
something
about
to
They
it.
probably
consider.
want to fill it up. They may pay you to go in if you wait long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
They may hand you a $20 bill. Say, here, get you some snacks while you're in there.
Let's just say good seats
Just to
should
get
be
you
available.
inside. Everything I click on ESPN right now, it don't matter where you go, a video pops up. You know what that video is of?
What's that?
Right on it, Jason. Tobin Anderson. I
Yeah,
think the name print on my screen is so tiny. I think I've got it right.
that's him.
Tobin Anderson, first year guy at Fairleigh Dickinson, a school. Now I mentioned this earlier. Did you guys catch it? What did they go last year? What was their record last year?
4 and
before he-
something.
4 and 20 something.
4-22 last year, and this year they get in the tournament. They lost their tournament championship,
They weren't supposed to even be in.
but they got in because the team ahead of them that won the tournament was ineligible. I think because of years in D1. They just got into D1. Just like Appalachian went through a few years ago, they couldn't go play in a football bowl
Right.
because it was just 1 year in football, but in basketball it's more.
Yeah.
4? Wow. That's a lot to have to wait in it, 4. Because now you got what if he wins it and should get there 3 more times?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like with Gaston College baseball last year, they couldn't go. First year team.
That's right. A local could not play
Could not play
because it
in
was their
the
first year having a
playoffs.
team.
That's right.
Why is that a rule? Why
You
would you?
tell me.
What does that protect?
I don't know.
Why is that a rule?
Is that a money thing? Considering the teams you guaranteed so much money if your conference gets TV payout money,
And they'd be
They
like,
don't
why?
want
Why do
teams-
we want to pay a first year
Right.
program
Who
that
just
that
coming up to
cash?
get
Yeah,
a payday
that may
real
be.
quick- get
That
a
may
payday
be.
real quickly.
I don't know what the reason is for that, but 4 years,
Yeah.
4 is a little tough. I could see 2. I mean, wasn't it just 1 for App
thought
in
it was 2
football?
for App.
Maybe
I
it
thought it was
was.
2 for
Maybe
App.
it's 2 in football, 4 in
And
basketball.
Then, you asked about
Seems like a lot.
You asked about tickets. You can get tickets right now for tomorrow's game in Greensboro. Upper level under $50, like $48. And I've seen the lower level going for $99. So
That's pretty good.
Number 1,
A little bit more than $1. But,
yeah, I don't know if I'd want to. 25 might lure me in.
I would go for
Yeah.
25.
But the thing is, I mean, you still got to make the drive over there. You
You
still
do.
got to make the 2-hour
Still gotta
drive
get
back.
Well, the good thing
food.
is the games are at 12 and 2:30.
That is good. That
Yeah,
is
that's
good.
good.
You could be home.
Be home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the weekend traffic on 40 is not too bad. I
Not
will say that
terrible.
because I did that just a couple weeks ago
You did.
for a high school game, and I thought, I've told Mike this. I had a 2:00 game, and I was home at 5:30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. A 2:00 game in Greensboro and get home at 5:30.
Yeah, I know.
I think
here-
it took longer to get out of the parking lot than it did home.
I remember I was here working on my story, and you'd already gone to dinner, and then you
Yeah.
shot by here.
Yep, sure did. I'm going to go through these. You guys are welcome to tell me. We know what the shocker was of the day, obviously, but was there another? on just yesterday, not on Thursday. That's a whole different day. But was there another that shocked you?
Well, I'm not surprised
just as
Virginia lost in the first round. They have a habit of doing that. That's what Virginia basketball is outside of their national championship run.
But what you would think, Mike, one of the smartest
Yeah.
teams in basketball
Yeah.
didn't do smart stuff down the
a
stretch.
fifth-year player.
And I mean, they shouldn't have lost the game.
No.
They should not have lost the game.
No.
I mean, timeout.
Timeout.
Right? Take a timeout. Do something right
just
there.
hold the ball, keep it away from them, try to get a foul.
They win
Several
because of their
options.
intelligence and their
Yeah,
defense.
that's how
you
they
know?
win.
But they lost because of it.
All I can think of, he thought that there was less time on the clock than there was, and he just thought he would heave it down into the forecourt, and that would take up some time. What do you think, Jason? I don't know what he was thinking there.
I guess that's what K.A. Clark was thinking, but you got to. I was saying this off air. I call Virginia the Eli Manning of college basketball.
They only win when they win it.
When they win.
Yeah, Eli Manning, his career playoff record without the 2 Super Bowls of 0 wins. He has 8.
They didn't even make it much, did they?
They made it like I think maybe 4 of the times, and then he
4.
lost his first game.
Right.
Virginia basketball 2018 uses UMBC as the first number 1 seed to go down. 2019 win the title. First round exit in 21. First round exit in 22. First round exit now in 23.
That's tough. Okay, so leads me to this question. I'd love to get you guys' take on this. It's easy for us to say yes. Would you go play at Virginia if they recruited you? If you had other offers in the Power 5 conferences, would you go play at Virginia if they offered you? Because you're not going to go there and average 20 points a game.
No.
I don't think they had anybody average 20 points a game, have they? Maybe in the Bennett era.
You know that you're not going there to be offensively minded.
And I don't. Okay, let me throw something out there to compare it to. Would you go to Virginia over Marquette? Because I know you'd go to Duke or Carolina if you had the opportunity. Most people would, unless you're from the state of Virginia. You know, and I would love to see their roster and see if most of them are made up from. I don't think they are. I don't think most of them are made up from in-state athletes. They probably got a couple, just like you see our local teams do, and Kentucky and people like that. They might have 1 or 2 mixed in. I don't think it's a roster just full of Virginians. Mm-hmm. But would you go? Would you go to Marquette or would you go to Virginia? I don't even know what Marquette's conference is in. What are they in?
They're in the Big East.
Big East.
Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
You remember him.
Yeah.
He's a charismatic coach. I believe I'd go to Marquette.
They don't have football, do they?
No.
Would that figure in if you want? Because going to those football games in the fall on campus, it is right.
It is.
So that's something you might miss out on.
Yeah.
So it would figure into my decision.
Well, Virginia's got 2 starters from North Carolina.
Who are they?
But none from Virginia.
Well, they're probably didn't get.
Probably portal people.
Yep.
Jaden Gardner is from Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Okay, so he either went to Wake Forest or Rollsville High, probably Wake Forest.
And he's one of their top scorers. He averages 12.
Oh, yeah. That's really
Lighting it up.
scoring at a prolific level.
Caden Shedrick, their big man, is from Holly Springs.
Okay, but then again, on the
I
other
think Kihei
side,
Clark's from California.
Tony Bennett don't have to have those 5 stars to win. He don't have to have those 5 stars the way he plays. You're going to win games. You're going to win games. You're going to make the tournament, and you're going to lose early.
Yeah.
But you're going to make games. At some point, you just think they're going to have a team that'll average at least 70 a game, and I don't know when it might be. Maybe they won't ever have a
Tony
team.
Bennett coaches just like his father, Dick Bennett, coached. And he was at Green Bay at Wisconsin and a lot of other places. That defensive mind.
I like Tony Bennett. I like him a lot. I really do. And that would figure into my decision as well at some point. Mm-hmm.
Well, they average 68 points a game.
They do?
But that was 277th in the country.
Okay, here's the big question, because this is what everybody wants. How many players under Bennett from Virginia are now on an NBA roster?
Yeah, they don't seem to send a lot to the league, do they?
That's 2 that I know for right
Just
now.
2?
Off the top of my
head.
head.
At least you know 2.
DeAndre Hunter, he was the one and done guy. He plays for the Hawks.
Yeah.
And then Ty Jerome is on the Warriors roster right now. And Kyle Guy was in the league.
Yeah, he's been back and forth.
He's
I
been
think.
back between the G League and the NBA. So those are the three. And those are.
I mean, that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal of all the basketball players, and every one of them coming out of high school. If you're going to a Power 5, you're probably counting on having your chance. You
At
know,
least a shot.
even though we know only about what percentage do.
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
at the most. When you consider all D1 schools, I'd say it's even less than that.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know, I love those
pipe, yeah.
commercials that NCAA used to do. That
Oh,
there
Malcolm
are
Brogdon.
200,000.
Yeah.
There are 300,000 athletes playing NCAA sports, and only 2% of them will be playing professional for it. Hey,
That's
it's
right.
reality.
It's
It's
reality.
reality.
Yeah.
You better know it. I mean, because everybody's a pro.
Well,
Um,
here's the other thing. If you're a D1 level talent basketball player, you've got to look at other aspects of going to Virginia. Great academic school,
It is that
sterling reputation.
beautiful campus.
Beautiful
If you've never
campus.
been, it's a beautiful campus. It's,
The college that Thomas Jefferson built.
Yes.
I mean, so there's that. And you got to be in the NCAA tournament. You're going to win games, but
I spent a week on campus up there with Lavelle Hall. Hopefully he's listening this morning. He's probably not even awake. And Franklin Lowry. Now that had to be an experience, right?
It
To
had
spend
to
a week
be.
on the campus of University of Virginia. Terry Holland was running his annual basketball camp. We went up there and
Charlottesville.
worked the whole week.
Excellent.
Absolutely loved it. It's a beautiful campus. And then Brett and I went back for a Notre Dame Virginia football
Yes,
game
you did.
5 years ago, something like that. And still looks exactly the same,
Mm-hmm.
except for this time there were students on campus, and during basketball camp there were very few
Very
students
few
on
students
campus,
on campus.
and the lawn, as they call it up there, was covered with
Virginia's got 9 guys in the NBA right now.
9. But you
yeah,
can't use that. You
couple-
honestly can't use that as an excuse. I mean,
no.
that's got to be in the top 10, doesn't it, in the country?
I don't know. Trey Murphy with the Pelicans. I forgot he even went to Virginia, but he's
Trey Murphy, another North Carolina product.
in
Wow.
his second year.
They must live up in the Reedsville area or something.
But he averages
not far.
he
from
averages
Virginia.
13 a game for New Orleans, and Malcolm Brogdon averages right
Yeah,
at
Malcolm
15.
Brogdon, of course.
DeAndre Hunter averages 15.
Is Brogdon the best player under Bennett?
I think he's the best to come out of Virginia under Bennett.
Yeah, well, DeAndre Hunter only played 1 year,
So you don't know.
but he was really talented.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Gill was drafted in 2016. Joe Harris, he's been in the league a long time.
Yeah, I forgot about Joe Harris. Joe Harris was a good player. Just
Sam Hauser, I think he was
a
just
scorer.
at Virginia 1 year. Wasn't he a transfer?
Yeah.
James Huff, a big man. He's only played 1 game this year in the NBA.
So he's
And
in his
then-
final year.
Mamadi
Yeah,
Mamadi
probably.
Diakite. He was one of their
Don't talk like that on the air.
stars the year that they won it. Yeah, I mean they've got 3 guys averaging double digits in the NBA, and then we didn't. Kyle Guy's not on that list, so I'm guessing he's in the G League right now.
Do you think people hesitate to go there though because of their style?
I think so.
They'd have to, wouldn't it? It's human nature. I
Yeah,
mean, there's going to be
absolutely.
some people that do hesitate. Who's the top scorer in the country right now in college basketball? Or just you don't have to name the one, but who's up there?
The guy from Detroit, Mercer.
Oh my gosh! Well, he would have went to Virginia. I got a feeling he might have went to
Yeah.
Virginia if he was offered. But I'm thinking somebody in the that scores, even the leading scorer for Carolina or the leading scorer
He-
for Duke,
he
or the leading scorer
actually-
for Miami. Those guys aren't going to Virginia.
No,
Right.
Those guys aren't going to Virginia.
He actually challenged Pete Maravich's career scoring record.
Woo.
but didn't he play like twice as many games?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
3-point.
yeah.
And
that,
the 3-point.
that tells the tale.
He
don't
played
it, of
way
Pete
more
Maravich.
games.
I mean, that says more about Pete Maravich than that guy.
Yeah.
That he still got that record with no threes.
No threes.
And half the amount of games played.
Another thing.
Unbelievable.
Another of Pete's records I don't think will fall, 42 points a game.
Without a three-point line.
Without a
you know?
three-point
So if he hits 6 threes a game, that's 48. You know?
Yep.
I don't know if he could average 6. I bet he was. I bet 6 of those shots were probably threes that he hit
Oh, yeah.
today. Three. We got to go through this real quick, and we got to take a timeout.
And that
Gonzaga.
name's Antoine Davis out of Detroit Mercy.
That sounds like a basketball
Antoine
name.
Davis,
Games
that's right.
played, Maravich 83 and Antoine Davis 144.
Close to double. And Pete did it in 3 years. Yeah, that's what knocked down on the games there. Freshmen not being able
freshmen
to
did
play.
not play in the early 60s.
Gonzaga survives the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I had a great line for that, Mike. You liked it. If Gonzaga would have got beat last night, I was going to say I watched that game and they couldn't throw it in the Grand Canyon.
Yes, it did.
UConn over Iona last night. Will Patino return to Iona, or is he going to be
No,
a
he's
hot
gone.
commodity?
He's a hot commodity.
Hot commodity.
He's already St. John's is the school that's most mentioned for him.
Isn't Iona also in New York City?
Yeah.
So he don't even have to move.
Nope.
He can just
Right across town. Or
take a different train.
That's right.
Into I don't know. For what I know, they might be side by side to each other with Fordham and whatever else. NYU. Let's see. UConn wins that game 87-63. Baylor over Santa Barbara 74-56. Kennesaw State gave Xavier a scare. I think Xavier scored maybe the last 10 or so. It was a pretty big run in this game at the end for them to win last night by 5, 72-67. Late last night, Kansas State beat Montana State 77-65. Miami over Drake. Speaking of another one that basically survived, Miami had to come from behind, trailed by 5 at halftime, wound up winning 63-56. I love Jim Larinaga. I can't help but pull for them because of Jim Larinaga.
And apparently got their center back. There was a big question. He got hurt in
Right.
the ACC tournament, but he did
So he's
play.
back.
He did play some last night.
St. Mary's again wins. They beat. How about the respect they're getting these days? They're a 5 seed. They beat VCU 63-51.
The Gales.
Indiana late last night over Kent State 71-60. Florida Atlantic holds off Memphis. I know that Florida. This is an 8 and 9 seed, but does this not seem like more of an upset? Just is it because of the names?
I
guess.
so.
Well, that's Florida Atlantic's first tournament win.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they were 32-3 on the season.
And Memphis has a pretty
Impressive.
strong tradition.
But,
Yeah, right.
So that's one
Right.
reason it feels like
And
an
you usually
upset.
see a superstar player at Memphis.
And
Well-
the spread was 1.5.
Well,
Okay.
and Florida Atlantic, they scored a bucket with 2 seconds to go. They was driving layup there 2 seconds to go. Yeah, so they actually came back.
So if the spread was 1.5, who was favored?
Memphis was favored.
Memphis. Okay.
Yeah.
So Florida Atlantic. So you weren't going to win it either way. If Florida Atlantic don't hit that shot, you still only get that 1 point win, and that. Well, I tell you, Vegas is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Michigan State beat Jason's Trojans last night, 72-62 yesterday afternoon, actually. Creighton over NC State, 72-63. We'll talk about that a little bit when we come back. Fairleigh Dickinson, who would believe it? 21-15 now in the season. Beats Purdue last night, 63-58. I really felt bad for Purdue. I really did. I mean, it's a great story and all that kind of stuff, but Purdue could have made a run to the Final Four. I don't think Fairleigh Dickinson can. I may be wrong, but
No.
But it's
Well,
just
here's
seem like
the
they
weird
can.
thing for me: points in the paint, 26-24. Purdue only outscored them by 2 points in the paint.
and their tallest guy you told me was 6'8".
6'6" is their
6'6".
tallest starter. Yeah.
I know they averaged 6'3", and that was the shortest team in NCAA Division I basketball.
They got a 5'8" and a 5'9".
They had one
who
guy
start.
taller than all their guys added up.
Yeah.
Purdue did.
And Purdue's got the best big men.
And he did. I mean, he had 21 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks.
But you know what? It didn't stand out like it normally
no,
does.
well, he only took 11 shots.
I watched most of it. It didn't stand out like it normally does.
11
for
shots
him.
isn't enough.
They were just all over him like a bunch of. I mean, honestly, it looked like bees attacking.
Yeah.
They were just small guys, but they just and don't put it on the floor.
No,
because you're
yeah,
going to lose it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose it.
Yeah, they definitely crowded him when he got the ball in the blocks.
Kentucky survived 61-53 over Providence. TCU over Arizona State 72-70. Pitt over Iowa State, and that was Pitt, a much lower seed. At least Pitt is one team. I think it's kind of helped the image a little bit of the ACC.
A little bit.
But when you have Virginia getting beat early, and who else did we lose? State.
Yeah.
I got to go back to State.
And
because
Pitt had to
I do
win-
have a least favorite
Pitt had
player
to win a
in basketball.
tough playing game
Yeah.
to get to
They did
yesterday.
They did. So both play-in teams are still alive.
Well, no, there's 4.
That's right.
Arizona State was 1. They lost.
Did they lose last night? Did I call that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a tough one.
Brett sent me a message the other night and said Bobby Hurley is just a bit intense. I'm like, well, that's an understatement.
Well, his team played really well in the tournament. They should have won that game.
Wasn't that last night or was it Thursday?
Last night.
Yeah, that's not, I can't find it on here anywhere for some reason. But
I
guess I said it. Though.
They lost by 2. You did.
Okay.
You said
okay.
it. The other team that lost that played in the play-in was the Texas A&M Corpus Christi. That
somebody blew them out.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama looks pretty good. When Alabama plays their best,
star didn't even
they're
score.
the best team. Yeah, I know.
He went scoreless.
When they play their best, they're the best team. But can they play their best for 6 straight?
He took 5 shots. Brandon Miller took 5 shots.
And I think he was battling an injury of some kind, a strained groin or hamstring or something, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
they wasn't much need to play him.
Thanks for tuning in to Sports Talk. We're going to take a quick time out. Back with more here in just a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Sports Talk. I see blue. I see some blue in the sky out the window already. So, sunny day. Enjoy it. Rain is gone for at least a while. A lot of rain. A lot of rainy days this winter. I don't know how much rain, like I said earlier, but added up to, but a lot of rainy days. Anyway, I want to go back to Thursday just to review a little bit. Talk about Alabama, 96 points. Probably could have scored more if they left their guys in. Alabama's 30-5 on the season. Alabama ever been to a Final Four? I don't remember Alabama being. I can't remember, but there's a lot of things I don't remember. But I can't remember them being in a Final Four. But
I don't remember one. But
they've been to 45 football Final Fours, but hadn't been to too many basketball Final Fours. They won big over Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Are they the Islanders? Is that what I remember here?
Yeah.
Okay. Houston beat Northern Kentucky. They did struggle early, only a 3-point lead at halftime, but they win by 63-52, 11-point spread.
Alabama has one Elite Eight appearance, and that's it. 2004.
One Elite
they
Eight.
made the Elite Eight.
And didn't get any further. Close. Knocked on the door. Who knocked them out, I wonder? What year?
2004.
2004. Yeah, I can't help you. I can't tell you that. Kansas over Howard, 96-68. No Bill Self in that game? He still didn't show up, did he?
Yeah, the procedure he had was they've been very close-lipped about. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a heart procedure. Probably a catheter or whatever in there. Yeah. Texas over Colgate, 81-61. UCLA over UNC Asheville, 86-53. Princeton with the big upset that night, knocking off at number 2 Arizona, 59-55.
By the way,
who's head coach at Arizona?
Who is it?
Tommy Lloyd.
Oh, here's the sidebar.
I meant today, not who was the coach Thursday.
Here's the sidebar to that. The current coach of Princeton was a point guard at Princeton when they knocked off UCLA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a connection there.
Under Pete Carell.
Also on Thursday, Duke beat Oral Roberts 74-51. Furman pulls off another upset, beating Virginia. Obviously, that one didn't shock everybody, I don't think, as much as Arizona losing did. But Furman, Brett was telling me, watch out. We could have a Furman-Charleston second-round game, one of them going to Sweet 16, but Charleston couldn't beat San Diego State. They fell 63-57 in that game. Now, here's one of the best ones, best analysis I heard pregame. Charles Barkley the other night was talking about Penn State and Texas A&M. Did you guys see Barkley talking about that prior to the game? I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Texas A&M is just going to blow them out.
I know.
Exactly. That's what he said.
Yeah. But he had to eat those words.
He had to blow out right. But and that happens to everybody. Ask Jay Billis. Jay Billis had Arizona winning his bracket. But Penn State, I'll tell you right now,
they're playing well.
They are. They look really good. Love their coach. I mean, he's just upbeat, great personality, almost like a kid, just getting to do what he wants to do. They win 76-59 over Texas A&M. Tennessee over Louisiana, 58-55. Tennessee Duke today at 2:30, 2:40, something like that.
2:40.
Utah State loses to Missouri. That's one I missed in my bracket. I had Utah State winning that, but in a mild upset, but didn't happen. Hats off to Missouri, 76-65.
By the way, Gaston College's former basketball coach is an assistant on the Missouri staff.
Dickie Nutt.
Dickie Nutt.
Is assistant at Missouri. So in the big dance and with a win. Still in the big dance.
Yeah, I saw him on the sideline there a few times.
Maryland over West Virginia, 67-65. What little bit I got to see of that one was a very competitive game. Stayed close, it seemed like, the entire time. Arkansas over Illinois, 73-63, another miss for me. Auburn over Iowa, 83-75, another miss for me. Northwestern over Boise State, 75-67. So a rundown of
very happy for Chris Collins at Northwestern.
I think Auburn could beat Houston today. tonight.
Let's see if Mike can answer the question I asked Brett last night. They mentioned in one of the games that 5 teams that it's first tournament without Mike Krzyzewski being around, right? So 5 teams in NCAA tournament were coached by Krzyzewski at Duke.
Krzyzewski
Can you name the 5? Can you name the 5?
Jeff Capel.
I can only name 4.
Jeff Capel.
I can only name 4. I don't know if Brett knew it or looked it up, but he got it.
Capel, Chris Collins. They were in the tournament?
Yep.
Capel, Chris Collins.
He's stumped.
Whoa, no, wait a minute.
Obvious one.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. You're wearing the jacket of one of the teams.
I'm wearing the jacket of one of the teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, John Shire, of course, obviously, yeah.
That would have been the easiest.
I named him last night. Now I can't think of the other 3.
Which one out of that group did I get, Brett? There's one more that I got there. He has said
Capel, Collins, and Shire.
Okay. Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley, that's right.
With Arizona State. The other one I couldn't get. Tell him, Brett.
He coaches at Howard.
That's right. Kenny Blakeney.
There you go.
Yep.
I wouldn't have got it.
Yep.
I would not have got it.
Kenny
Wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
But his playing time at Duke had to be sparse.
I think he played is probably his last couple years.
Okay.
Now he was there.
I mean, I remember him, but just so.
He was there when they won back-to-back titles. He didn't play a lot on those teams.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
If you're wondering about today, Saturdays and Sundays are really good for watching NCAA tournament.
Actually, he was there. He was a freshman the year they won their second of those 2 titles.
Right.
All right, listen to this. I want to get you guys' opinion on this. CBS Today begins at 12:10 with coverage of the tournament. Okay, the first game, Furman and San Diego State. No other game to 2:40 when that one's over to be Duke and Tennessee, another standalone game. And then you go to 5:15, you got Arkansas and Kansas. Well, when that one gets to be halftime, that's when it'll all really start clicking. Because at 6:10, you got Princeton, Missouri. At 7:10, you got Auburn and Houston. At 7:45, Penn State, Texas. At 8:40, Northwestern and UCLA. And at 9:40, Maryland and Alabama. So I get my question is, like when the tournament starts and it gets going, almost instantly you've got 4 games to choose from. You know, it don't take long to get in there. But then starting today, like on the weekend, they don't do it that way. Which do you prefer, the standalone games or 4 at a time where you don't have to listen to anything but?
I like having choices.
I do too.
I do too.
But with Duke being one of the standalone games, that I wouldn't turn it from their game anyway. So them being part of that, it makes it a little easier. Now that Furman San Diego State game at noon, I don't know how excited
that'll be the least
I'll
watched
be to
game of the
watch
whole
that.
tournament. I mean, I hate it for them.
Yeah.
But it'll be the least watched game of the entire tournament because, well, I shouldn't say that. You won't have an option if you're going to watch basketball. You have to watch that one. But I would almost. I don't know how you could do it. I don't know where they. I'm sure it's got to do with locations because they're on the East Coast in Orlando, where Jason was last week. But that just seems. My guess is, who was it? Furman knocked off. I've already forgotten.
Virginia.
They were counting on that being Virginia and San Diego State, and maybe already had it scheduled that way. I don't know.
You got to remember, CBS is getting the exclusive early window.
They do.
Period. They get that exclusive, so they want the marquee team at that window. So Duke is going to fulfill that slot from that time.
The second one, yeah. I mean, Duke, Tennessee's a big draw.
Yeah. And
but
that's
Furman, San Diego State, maybe not.
Yeah,
so
they
much.
didn't see the Virginia knockout, but so CBS I think it's exclusive window at that time, and then the other networks will kick in at the 5 o'clock window. So
and see, here's what I hate: you're going to go a full 50 minutes without basketball because the first 2 games are in the same arena.
Yeah.
So they give them like 40 to 45 on the court, and then you got 5 or so for them to clear it off before they even start running the clock. So I don't know. That just. By the way, Lenny got Kenny Blakeney. He sent that to me as well. He knew him. But his comment is, I wish you didn't have 4 playing, but at least 2 playing each time.
Yeah, two at a time would be good.
2 at a time would be good.
And just start them 30 or 40 minutes apart.
But I guess they have to do 4 just because they try to do everything from especially starting at prime time. I mean, when people get off work after 5 o'clock hour, they want 4 at a time. I think they have to go 4 at a time because you just. But I'll say this: it's a lot better than it used to be when you only got to watch 1 at a time, and you know. We could count on our local teams being on in this area: Carolina, Duke, State, Wake Forest. If they were in the tournament, they were going to be on local TV. But it was some of them didn't work out. I'd say sometimes you might not get Wake Forest on TV locally just because of where they might be playing or whatever. But when's the last time that all 4 of those Tobacco Road schools made the tournament? Have they all made the tournament at the same time? Surely they have, haven't they?
Surely at some point in history.
But that's that. I don't know why that just hit me. When is the last time we had all 4 of those in the same tournament, other than an ACC tournament?
He's talking about the 4 teams on Tobacco Road.
Yeah. You know who those are, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I do.
I thought you might.
It's got to be a it's got to be a year where all 4 teams have made it.
Yeah. Alabama, Maryland. Watch or not watch? Must see or not must see? That's the way I should say it. Must see or not must see?
I might flip it over.
I think anytime the number 1 overall seed is playing, it's watchable. You want to see because what happened over the last 2 days could happen to them. It wouldn't be near as big an upset because Maryland's an 8 and from a Power 5 conference. But
That's right.
But still, it would be an upset, and it'd be one that have people talking if it did happen. UCLA, Northwestern, not must-watch TV for me.
No.
This one almost is, though. Penn State, Texas.
Yeah, I want to see.
Penn State's hot, like Mike said. They're playing really good basketball.
The way they're shooting the basketball, I like to see what they can do against Texas.
Auburn, Houston.
Yeah, I think that's a good matchup.
I won't be shocked if Auburn wins that game.
No.
I won't either. Houston's Marcus Sasser's, it seems like he's aggravated his injury. I don't even know if it was the same injury, but he didn't get to play much in their first game.
Right.
That could be trouble for Houston.
Right. Houston, we have a problem. Or Houston, y'all have a problem. Princeton, Missouri. I think the biggest thing here is one of these two is going to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about either one, really.
No.
I mean, about their teams. Missouri, 25-9, but I still couldn't tell you a whole lot about their teams and their season and stuff like that. Who is their head coach at the University of Missouri? I know we got
I don't know.
a local
what is his name?
tie with an assistant.
Dennis Gates.
Dennis Gates. See, I couldn't have got that. Would have never got that. Kansas, Arkansas. Anytime you've got Kansas, a blue blood in a game, yes, it's worth watching.
And Arkansas is a team that could be very good or very bad. I mean, they're mercurial.
Pretty good record though.
Yeah.
21-13. Duke and Tennessee. I think that's
that's prime.
It is. That's good.
Barnes.
And you got ACC versus SEC, which is a plus.
Rick Barnes with his ACC connections.
And then you have Furman and San Diego State at the top of that bracket.
There you go. All 4 Tobacco Road teams made the tournament 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
91, and then 03, 04, and 05.
Okay. That Randolph Childress years?
Had to be.
Push the door up over there.
Randolph Childress was mid-90s, 95.
Yes,
95.
Like
he was earlier than that.
He's with Tim Duncan, Randolph Childress.
So Wake Forest made it 3 years in a row without either one of those two studs.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul was 03, 04, 05.
I wondered. Maybe
they
had to have somebody.
Josh Howard was there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that helps. That definitely helps as well. Lenny's been texting while driving.
Oh.
Using the voice. Good. Hope you are.
And there were 11 times when none of the 4 made the tournament, but those were a long time ago.
Did you hear that part, Lenny? I was wondering if all. I knew they'd all 4, but I couldn't. 4 times, and 3 of them were 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
3 of them.
71 and 73, none of the 4 made it.
Well, you know why, right?
Because you had to win the ACC.
You had to win the ACC.
And who was it?
One team.
Virginia? Was that Ralph Sampson days? Or?
80s.
Oh, okay. Who was 71? Who would have been in 71 and 73? The dominant.
Wally Walker was the man. All right, listen to this. We're going to go through tomorrow's games real quick, and I want you to tell me which schedule is better, Saturday or Sunday. I've already formed an opinion when I get on here and read these. Pitt, Xavier, Kentucky, K-State, Michigan State, Marquette, St. Mary's and UConn, Creighton and Baylor. That's going to be an interesting game. Two different styles. I think that'd be a fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Fairleigh Dickinson and Florida Atlantic. One of them's going to the Sweet 16. Can you imagine that?
That's the biggest spread out of the 2 days. Florida Atlantic, 12.5-point spread. Favorite
Underdog.
over.
Favorite?
Florida Atlantic is favored,
Okay.
yeah, over the 16 seed.
They must not have watched Fairleigh Dickinson play last night. I thought they looked pretty good myself. Miami, Indiana. Good matchup. A really good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
TCU, Gonzaga. Gonzaga better come to play. They didn't seem like they came to play last night. They struggled early on. Will this be another year that Gonzaga don't get over the hump, don't win a national title? Who would you pick right now? Who would you pick right now to win it after watching one game? That's all you got. Tournament style was one game.
It's going to be fate. It's Houston. I'm going to tell you why. There's two things. Houston's hosting the Final Four.
Wow.
Jim Nantz's last run as announcing the Final Four, a Houston grad. That's why he's starting with Houston. So it's lining up for Houston.
Yep.
Who was his roommate? Fred Couples. Yeah, at the University of Houston.
Well, I did two brackets, and I picked Texas in one and Houston in one. And no reason to change.
No, there's not.
So far.
No, there's not.
Now, I am worried about Houston's
Texas
star
play a
player
little
being
better.
injured.
Yeah.
Well, now, Texas is being coached by an interim guy, which he's taking them on this run. Could this be another thing like what Steve Fisher did with the
And I just can't pick Houston to win it. I just can't pick them to win it. I mean,
I can't either.
They had their best teams in the late 70s, early 80s, Clyde to Glide.
Well, now
Elijah won and couldn't win it with that team. Three in a row.
Kelvin Sampson's brought the program back.
He has.
In the last
He
6
has.
years.
He
No
has.
question.
He has, but no coach has got them, though, to that level. They haven't won a national title, have they, unless they won it back.
That's why I can't pick them, because
I can't either.
They've been so snake bitten. Akeem Olajuwon and Phi Slama Jama couldn't do it in '83.
I honestly think they could have lost yesterday. If things hadn't turned for them in a quick way.
Elvin Hayes couldn't do it in the late '60s because he had to go up against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then they had another shot in the '80s, didn't they, against Georgetown? They had to go against Patrick Ewing. So 3 Final Fours.
I get a comment here. It says, "Watching Alabama turns my stomach the way they handled the murder."
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
think they have the talent to win it.
An Alabama
sure.
player supposedly possessed the gun, right? The
brought the gun
lady
to the scene.
Yeah, that the lady was.
What was another Alabama player that did the killing?
Oh, was it? Okay, that part they've even left out.
He's been charged with first degree, and then now they found out that
that's pretty sad.
Yet another Alabama player was somewhere around the scene. So there's like 4 Alabama players. Yeah.
I got to mention this guy. I was watching the game yesterday, and I sent Brett a message, and I said, "This guy would not be a good teammate. This guy just wouldn't be a good teammate. I can see why the 2 biggest schools in his state didn't even recruit him."
Mm-hmm.
Lenny's got it. Terquavian Smith. Yeah, I mean, I don't want him on my team. I don't want him on my
because
team.
he's selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scores 30-some, but he shoots 30-some times to do it.
And he not even one assist, right?
But he can score. He can score, but if you watch him and the way he gets on his teammates, and he's not getting on them like in a positive way either. I mean, he's bringing them down. I thought him and the other guy yesterday, what's the other really good shooter for him?
Joyner.
I thought they were going to fight at one time yesterday, and I thought, boy, this will be a scene right here.
Yeah.
So, but
he scored 32. It took him 27 shots.
I'm guessing he's played his last game at NC State anyway.
Probably so.
Oh yeah.
Was this his second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was there too. But yeah, he's I see why Duke Carolina didn't. And he was mad about that too. You know, he said he wanted to stick it to him every time he played them both. Honestly, he'll probably be a better pro than he is a. I'm not saying he's not a good player though. I mean, he can play, he can shoot, but it worries me a little bit. He might be one of those guys that has to go from team to team because his
real
teammates
thin.
don't like
I don't
him.
know how much that matters in today's NBA, but he is slim.
Thinner than Durant?
About the same kind of build,
Really?
just 6 inches shorter.
Durant's not too bad though. But I was going to say he is what, 7 foot or close to it. Durant, 6'11" maybe. That one that bothered me a little bit yesterday. I felt bad because I wanted to pull for NC State, and it just wound up that I couldn't.
It
just wound up that I couldn't.
too.
You know, be interested to know from NC State fans deep down inside, did they want him on their team or not?
The only ACC team other than Duke that I wanted to win was Pitt, and that's because Capel coaches.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
The rest
Same
of them,
here.
I couldn't care less if they win or not. Virginia, I don't pull for because I hate the style of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Miami, I do like Larinaga, but I
Yeah.
don't care about their team or their play. You know, I don't.
Yeah, I
care.
like him. They don't bother me.
I
if
don't
they
dislike
win,
their
though.
players.
They don't bother me.
but I don't.
They don't bother me if they win. I like the way he coaches, and I like his style.
Another team I like to see do well when they're playing well is Florida State because I like Leonard Hamilton.
Right.
Leonard Hamilton.
Yep, class act, no doubt about that.
But they're just struggling right now.
Yep. But that just stuck with me for a while.
And like you said
yesterday.
about
I never saw
Alabama-
him play in high school either.
I know Alabama's the number 1 seed, but the reason I didn't pick them is because they have that whole murder thing hanging over them. I don't see how they can play their best
Right.
for 3 straight weeks with that hanging over them.
That and the spotlight, and you see that they now hired a security guard to be Brandon Miller now.
Yeah, that's pretty
so
sad.
that should have been a sign that maybe we don't need Miller out here playing this. Even though he's your best player, I don't even know how he consciously could still have it on his mind. An action that he was called to bring a gun that ended up killing someone. I wouldn't even have the conscience to even be the mental fortitude to even try to play basketball right now. So.
Well, not only that, guys, but Miller's car was also riddled with bullets. I mean, he could have. I mean, it was just a shootout. I mean, he had bullets in his car too, so it was just bullets flying everywhere.
Got to take our second time out. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. Lenny and Jason in the house today. Glad to have them with us back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Sports Talk, Saturday, March 18th.
Yes.
I'll be another year older soon. Slipping up here.
A couple veterans have joined us on Facebook. Roby Chaton is watching.
Good morning, Roby.
Steve K.
Steve K. Good morning.
Is watching.
Steve
David Creech.
You guys, I know Steve was laughing last night out loud because I was. If I can't remember who the game was now. One of the later games we were texting back and forth, and you guys remember the John Boy and Billy skit years ago where they talked about the football team out there and they wanted to put this guy in and give it, this offense.
Oh yeah,
was just
I know
nothing.
where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
saw him last night.
Give Calhoun the ball.
Yeah.
You guys remember that skit?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the skit, when it finally went off, they said, Calhoun says he don't want the ball. Well, that Calhoun last night, he was lighting it up. Which game was that? Who was that? I was watching it. Calhoun was they lost. Arizona State and
Yeah. TCU.
TCU. So he played for – that don't sound right.
No, he played for TCU, right?
That don't sound – I don't even remember watching any of that game.
No, that's not who it was.
They had on a blue uniform. So that couldn't have been either one of them, right? No? Who did he play for, Steve K? Tell me real quick.
Was he Memphis?
I cannot. I didn't watch much of that either.
No,
but it might.
It wasn't Memphis. I don't know who he played for. Well, the first thing that came to mind was UConn, but that's Jim Calhoun. I'm thinking.
Well, Arizona State played TCU.
See if Steve has responded yet on his Facebook post. I want to know, what team were we watching last night when Calhoun was making all the baskets? They were giving him the ball. He did want the ball, but you remember that skit, Lenny, back in the day, the John Boy and Billy? Give Calhoun the ball. And last night he was scoring points with it. But I cannot think to save my life now which team that he was on. They had two really good scorers, him and somebody else. I can't remember the other one's name, but why can't I?
It was Drake.
Drake, that's it. I said it was blue. It was Drake.
It was Drake.
It was Drake. That's exactly who it was. And they lost to
Miami.
Yep. Calhoun was lighting up.
Calhoun scored 12 off the bench.
Yep, and that was off the bench. And I'd say seemed like those came in a flurry in the second half when they needed baskets. And didn't get enough of them, but they needed baskets. I want to shift gears just a minute here. We got about 50 minutes to go this morning. I'm gonna go around the room, let everybody tell me one word.
One
word. Whenever I say this name, well, I don't know how you can give me a signal if you've already got yours and you want to go first, because other people might want to think a little bit. Maybe you should give me the first word, the one word that pops in your mind when I say Aaron Rodgers. Jason's ready.
This is normally termed for wide receivers, but diva.
Diva? Yeah, I go along with that. Diva. Anybody else got a word that when they hear Aaron Rodgers' name, what you would? Mine kind of is a compound word. Far out.
Yeah, mine's strange.
Strange, yeah, similar to far out.
That's kind of one of the words that popped into my head, but then I thought
Strange.
Greatest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people think he is the greatest quarterback.
And he's always
as far
been
as
one of
just
my
a pure
favorites.
quarterback. Lenny, do you have a word for?
I like the diva.
Here comes Butch Parker weighing in. Ass.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's comparing him to a donkey. How about that?
What about Scratch? He's a great golfer.
Just don't put those two together.
Always does. Yeah.
The Calhoun story was originally told on a Jerry Clower record, Rodney Willis says. So that goes way back about Calhoun. That's great.
That's not the knock him out John thing.
No, that's a different one. I guess.
Knock him out John.
Yeah. But
I've always been a big Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah.
And as far as just a pure passer, that's what I mean when I say greatest. Because I think he's the best pure passer that's ever played.
Yeah. Most accurate. You know,
And
I mean, he makes some plays at crunch time that most people couldn't make that throw. I get one here from Richard Howe, as Andy Griffith would say, peculiar. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the winning mentality that Brady does.
Steve K wrote mushroom.
Or
Hey, I like it. Mushroom.
Or the
what is the word for that? What's the strange word for the treatment he was taking? It was started with an S, didn't it? It was
ayahuasca.
well, maybe it don't start with an S. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. I thought that was a place at one time, but
he took some mushrooms into total darkness.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Would you have him on your team?
He's starting to get like Kyrie Irving, actually.
Hey, you get Kyrie's not a diva, but everything else, you could the mushroom, the far out
thinking,
peculiar.
Just some of the comments go along with Kyrie's mentality.
I think Aaron's he thinks he's smarter than you and then wants to show that he's smarter than you. That's that portion. I bet that's what I was just thinking. The folks in New York City was like, we just got rid of Kyrie and now here comes Aaron.
How disappointed are these guys going to be that have, they're like lining up to sign with the Jets, and then if it don't work out, I mean,
and the Packers got all the leverage.
They do. I think they want him gone. I mean, they're tired of just dealing with it year after year after year, and I understand that, especially if you got what you consider a franchise quarterback in waiting. But
it's like Favre all over again. They don't know if he wants to play, and if he does play, they don't know if he wants to play for the Packers.
That's right.
It's similar scenario, and he's even going to go to the Jets like Favre did.
Rodney got his dictionary out, narcissist.
Yeah,
this morning. So I like it. But I would still have him on my team. I would. And Rodney, I think you would probably take him with those Raiders.
In certain situations,
I know you told me you wouldn't.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Like the Jets situation. Yeah, I would want him on my team if I'm the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take him in Washington.
For the Jets, it might be the perfect situation because you've got what you hope is your quarterback of the future that can learn under him for a year or two till he fully retires. Mm-hmm. Rodney says no with capital letters about having him on his Raider team.
Well, who's the Raiders quarterback? Garoppolo?
Garoppolo, yeah. It is now, at least for 3 weeks. Well, maybe not.
And
I would give him 3
Garoppolo's
weeks.
solid and doesn't bring any of the baggage. So, I think I would take Garoppolo at this point.
We've used this word a lot, these 3 words a lot. Lenny used them last week when he was here filling in for Brett. He's a cancer. That comes from Rodney Willis, and Lenny was referring to Caleb Love last week being a cancer for the Carolina team.
I don't think Rodgers is that bad. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't think he is either.
No, maybe not that far.
I think once all this BS is
don't
over,
you think his linemen and his
fine.
Receivers like playing with him?
I mean, all this is going to be fine once all the hoopla's over and he's out on the football field.
Remember his thing in Green Bay was that he didn't have the weapons. He was complaining about the weapons. But now his list of guys to come to the Jets
He's
are
taking
former
the same
Green Bay.
guys.
Like, so what is it, man? So what is it now? Is it you complain about you couldn't get the help in Green Bay, but now you want those same guys to go with you to New York? So I just think the older he's gotten, it's one of those things. He wants more control. He wants to. He basically, I think Jason Kelsey said it best. He's trying to hold the Jets hostage, essentially.
Scott Cloninger uses a whole different word. Winner. He wins a lot of football games.
Yeah,
Rodney
but
Willis
he doesn't
says
win the big games.
He has once. How many current quarterbacks can you name that's won one?
Well,
not a lot.
No, not
I mean,
many, but
my guess is in the NFL right now under 10.
Well, who other than Mahomes, who were the best quarterbacks? Joe Burrow, he hadn't won the big game.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Josh Allen hadn't won the big game.
No.
And they're not guaranteed to do it. You know? Like it or not, Aaron Rodgers didn't have the greatest talent around him the whole time he was in Green Bay to, you know, if you go like some of these teams and say we need this and we need this, and they never drafted him a number one receiver. You know, in his final 8 years or so, I don't think they ever even drafted.
They needed to
wound up with one finally, didn't they?
Find a way to make it work for him and Devontae Adams to stay with Green Bay. That's where they messed up.
And
I mean, part of that's Rodgers' contract, right? Wasn't that the big reason that they couldn't keep Devontae Adams?
Yeah, it was.
But this past one, he just signed it was a 3-year, $150 million deal. Like he's scheduled to make $60 million come this season. But the thing with the Rodgers, somebody can't win. But how many times Green Bay lost NFC championship games or NFC home playoff games during his tenure? He couldn't get past the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers.
They've been a thorn in his side.
Got him, yeah.
Sure. I will disagree with Rodney on this comment. He's a divider, not a uniter. I think his teammates like him, myself. But now Rodney does make some good points down through here. Don't give me that he don't have any weapons crap. Anybody and everybody who's in the NFL is a freak of nature. The best teams have the best chemistry. Yeah, well, I can tell you this. He don't have a Travis Kelce or a Tyreek Hill, who Mahomes didn't have this year, but he has in the past. He don't have those kind of guys, in the huddle with him at all. You know, I mean, when's the last time Green Bay had a Pro Bowl tight end? Or you have to go all the way back to Brett Favre days when they had a tight end that caught passes like that. I mean, I don't know. I would take him on my team. I am anxious. I just wish it would hurry up and end.
Yeah,
I just wish the drama would hurry up and end. How long can that go on? I mean, how September?
It could go until September because Rodgers' salary doesn't kick in until September when Green Bay has to make the decision to pay him the $60 million or to eventually cut him if they didn't want to pay him the money. And since they got the trade leverage, are they going to ask the Jets for Jets? I think pick 13 in this draft right now. So they're going to want a first round pick back. So now if you're the Jets, are you willing to give up the number 13 slot for a guy that may play for you 1 year? Because it's not guaranteed he's going to come back after this coming season if he goes to the Jets.
I would give up the first round pick, but I wouldn't give up something like what the Panthers did when they traded for the number 1 pick.
I'm going to have to give Ned a math lesson. He said Rodgers a 50% winner, but he did put with a question mark, 150, 79, and 1. Well, to be 50%, he would be 150 and 150.
Yeah.
So he has won 2/3 of his games, which is pretty good. I mean, for anybody. I mean, winning 2/3 of your games is good for anybody.
Yeah, the big
He's been
negative,
a cowboy killer. I can tell you
the
that.
big negative is the years that they went, 13-3, and then like Jason said, they lost home playoff games.
Yep, because they used to never do that.
Yeah. And one thing I've seen is he's
beat 'em.
He's gotten less aggressive in the playoffs, and that's what's costed him games. Like the other year against San Francisco, they wouldn't throw it down the field. That they were settling for field goals, and they lost to some teams that they should have beat in the last few years.
Well, let me ask you this then. Since we're talking about Rodgers and talking free agents here just a little bit in NFL, this past week was the first week that people could sign. Who's done the best so far? Who's the most? Can't count Rodgers because he's not signed or anything. You can't even count that one yet. Which player that has been signed do you think will have the biggest impact so far? And it's just about got to be Derek Carr or Garoppolo. It's got to be a quarterback.
Yeah, biggest impact probably so.
Which one of those two would you have taken if you had the choice to take either one?
I like Derek Carr better.
Do you?
But I think Garoppolo went to a better team.
His winning percentage is great.
Yeah.
Garoppolo's is. So if he goes to a good team, he's likely to win. But he also is injury prone.
And what about New England picking up some weapons? Juju Smith-Schuster and then is it Gesicki from the Dolphins tied in?
Juju Smith-Schuster's been a disappointment to me. I thought he would be a number one receiver when he entered the league, and he was.
Well, he's going to have to be in New England because they didn't have any receivers.
Yeah, he's been number 3. He was number 3 in Pittsburgh. He was number 3 in.
Well, in Kansas City, they spread it around so much. They don't. Kelsey's their number one receiver, but
yeah.
How about my boy Baker going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Rodney really hates Aaron Rodgers. I picked up on that. Playing the Bears and the Lions twice a year equals 20 of those wins. Well, that's pretty bad when you.
The only thing easier would be playing the Raiders twice a year.
Touche. He got you, Rodney. The only thing would be easier playing the Raiders twice a year.
But, I mean, the best move I've seen this offseason has been what the Bears got from the Panthers.
Yeah, the number one receiver.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to equate to a lot more wins next year, but in the long run, I think they did really well.
They'll find a way to foul it up.
Yeah,
it's the Bears. I mean, I still say the most underachieving sports franchise in the nation. Tell Brett I'm in the parking lot in 20 minutes. You want to guess who that's from? Maybe I divided numbers wrong. This is Ned where I got the 50%. 79. No, what you do, Ned, you take the total number of games and divide it into the wins. That's how you get your winning percentage, right? Did I word that right? But you can't take the losses and divide it by the wins. Mm-hmm. What you do is take the total number of games. I think you take the wins and divide it by total number of games. This is what comes out with your winning percentage. It should be around 67%.
Yeah.
With the numbers you gave me, it should be around 67%. So, do that on your
150 divided by 229.
150 divided by 229.
What you say is 150 and 79.
That's where you get a batting average as well.
And it'll be 0.6 something.
Yeah, because if you're 5 for 10, you're batting 500. But if you do Ned's math, you would only be batting 333. Right? Yeah. But you're actually batting 500. So he's. We'll forgive you on that one, Ned. But take your wins and then divide that by the total number of games. So one of them was a tie. So who did Green Bay tie? I hate ties, and you should be able to remember.
They need to get rid of
you should
ties.
be able to remember the ties. NFL should not have ties. No sport should have ties.
Cincinnati, maybe. Or is Cincinnati?
Cincinnati sounds right. Now that you said that, they might have tied Cincinnati.
They need to
the regular season
change the overtime.
They got to
format.
go. They got to go back to a 15-minute. We got more ties now because in the regular season, overtime is only 10 minutes, instead of 15. And that losing that 5 minutes now, teams just bleed the clock for the most part.
Yeah, if you know you're not going to be able to get it and win, you're okay with the tie, and you just, like you said, run the clock out and don't give either team a chance. Why don't they do it like college?
Yeah, I don't know.
But start at the 35. College starts at what, the 25? Just start at the 35. You got, you can get first downs, you can score a touchdown, you can kick a field goal. I don't think, and just like college, you have to go for 2 after how many times they
Starting the third overtime.
Starting the third overtime.
And now it's nothing but 2-point conversions, right? When they get to the Is it when they get to the third overtime? It's only 2-point conversions?
Hey, now, you notice Ned's not going to give me any credit. You're right. Brett is correct. My bad. He didn't even say you're right. Brett is correct. 230 games, 150 wins, .652 winning percentage. 652, which isn't.
That's better than most.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I mean, yeah. Brady and Manning, I'm sure, have better. But there's not many, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that have better winning percentage than that.
Oh, Lord, Ned, you can't use that. In my defense, I am now old enough for Medicare. I like it. That sounds like one I would have used too. Anybody else you guys think that immediate impact on their team? Any other quarterbacks move around? Seattle gave a lot of money to
some backups. Washington picked up Jacoby Brissett.
There's left.
Taylor Heineke went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Geno Smith got paid.
Smith,
he stayed in Seattle. He had a really good year. He deserves that.
I think, Mariota went to the Eagles, and the Eagles lost a good running back in Sanders. Where'd he wind
up?
Carolina. But then they got a running back too, didn't they? Didn't they get Detroit's? Or no, the Saints got Detroit.
Jamal Williams.
There's a lot of people moving around. Saints are kind of building a pretty good team.
Zeke Elliott cut by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then I want
he'll be a commander.
Gardner Minshew went to the Colts. I think
he did. He did. That led me to the question the other day when they was talking about some of these quarterbacks. Would you rather have Gardner Minshew and I was trying to think of who I'd first heard. Who was the other quarterbacks? Oh, Mariota. That's who it was. I think I'd rather have Minshew than Mariota at this point.
Yeah.
I can't figure Mariota out. I've just never been able to figure him out.
Aaron Rodgers is fourth all time in win percentage for a quarterback.
Okay, so you got the top three there?
Yeah.
There's our trivia for the day, guys.
Yeah, this is about the top 25 or 30.
Manning?
Brady's after.
Brady and Manning on there?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
So they're number what?
1 and 2.
Montana?
This can't be everybody. I don't know what this is.
No Montana there? I'm just trying to think of Steve Young. Yeah, they were loaded when he was there.
No, this is minimum 200 games.
Ah, my gosh. It wasn't Marino, I don't guess.
He's about 10th on this list.
Okay.
He's over 60% from Marino.
But no Montana. Montana didn't quarterback 200 games?
I don't know. He is not on this list.
Yeah, because San Francisco was like 14-2 every year. It seemed
Let
like
me look for
when Montana was there.
Another.
As I try to think of other quarterbacks, I would have thought his might even be the highest because they, going in, they were always going to win at least 12 every single year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Montana played 192 games.
That's the problem.
What was his win percentage?
63.2.
63. So it was even ahead of Rodgers, right? Was Rodgers 62?
No, Rodgers is
Higher.
65.
Here goes Rodney again, throwing Ken Stabler in there.
Ooh.
Is Ken Stabler in there? The way I remember the Raiders, though, back then, Rodney, they weren't the great regular season team. They got to the playoffs, and that's when they played their best football. Is what I remember about the Raiders. They would go 10-6, but then you had to watch out for them in the playoffs because they were always going to play their best when the playoff time rolled around.
And
if it wasn't him, Rodney, maybe it was Jamarcus Russell, your other Raider quarterback that's high on the list. Maybe not.
I don't know if these numbers include playoffs or not.
It don't. 192 is regular season for Montana.
Well, I don't know if we're looking at the same list.
Now I'd like to know.
But Tom Brady's, it says 75%.
Who are the bottom quarterbacks?
And Brady's 70%. And Rodgers is 65. So who's in between there?
Say them again.
Brady, Manning, and then there's a third person, and then Rodgers fourth. The third person is 160, basically 67%.
So you're looking at it. You're looking at it. The name.
Yeah.
Do you? Is it somebody we should know? Obviously it is.
Yeah, it's somebody you know. I don't know if it's somebody that would be
that you would think of?
An obvious guess. He played on a team that just wins.
Give us a
all the
decade.
time.
Just give us a
Recent.
decade. Now? He wins now.
Well, he's retired.
Since 2004.
Since 2004.
He's retired now.
He's retired now. Come on, Mike Powell.
2004.
He retired.
I'm going to give you
Or since 2004.
him, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady,
Yeah.
and Joe Burrow. No,
Brees,
Joe
Drew Brees,
Flacco, and Joe
Drew
Flacco.
Brees, Drew Brees.
No.
No.
Hold on. Him, Tom Brady, and Joe Flacco played in the AFC Championship game. We'll give you AFC Championship games throughout the 2000s and the early 2010s. Those were the 4 quarterbacks that played in the most AFC Championship games.
Wow. Elway.
Well, no, he was retired before
Yeah, he was
then.
retired.
Before then.
Yeah. That's just something. That's just who popped in my head.
So he played from 2004 until 2020 or 2021. He's
Big Ben.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ben.
and that's thanks to Rodney.
70% or
Rodney said-
67%.
He said Roethlisberger has to be up there. Wonder why he gets overlooked. Because I was a big Ben fan. I wonder how I just overlooked him, and he never crossed my mind there. I guess because currently the Steelers haven't made the runs.
The QB rating, the highest QB rating out of those 4 guys.
The highest QB rating out of those 4 guys, probably Rodgers, since you brought it up. You get that, Rodney? Let me explain it, Rodney. The highest QB rating in that group is Aaron, whatever, Rodgers.
He has 100 over 100 less interceptions than any of the. I know his career's
he don't throw
not
many.
over,
He don't throw a lot of picks. That's one thing about him. His touchdown to interception ratio has to be the highest, probably in NFL history for anybody that's played 200 games or more. Got to take our final time out. Now Rodney says I'm in the parking lot now in 15 minutes. So. I don't know if that was on the Jamarcus Russell line or which one that might have been on there. We've been trading blows back and forth this morning. Appreciate you tuning in. We're back with more in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
Welcome back. Not on yet, am I?
Yep.
Am I? I am back. Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. I guess the big question is, where is Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I know you guys, Jason and Brett in particular, are disappointed. Disappointed that he wasn't any better than he was. Not that he's gone. Will he land with the NFL team? I bet he does. Somewhere. He hasn't yet, though, right?
No.
I mean,
he is one of those who has not.
Yeah. So he's got to go somewhere as a backup.
Yeah.
Because if who's the worst backup quarterback you can ever I guess you wouldn't be able to think of them because you wouldn't even know them.
No.
Their name wouldn't be mentioned enough.
Let me see. Worst backup.
All backups are good as long as they don't ever get on the field, right? As long as they're just holding the clipboard. Here's a question for you guys. Will Lamar Jackson play this year? Will he play football this year? He what? Yeah.
If I'm him. I'm not playing until he just saw what Daniel Jones is getting over $40 million a year. With Lamar getting a non-exclusive franchise tag right now, his salary would be $32 million. Oh, he's not signing for anything less than $40 million a year right now, and this is his point of leverage is to sit and hold out, because if you're the Ravens, what's really tripping me out is teams that came out immediately and said they weren't in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Like the Raiders came out and said we're not interested in Lamar, but then you signed Jimmy G. I think I would really take Lamar over Jimmy G right now. It's the key. Do you want to give up the 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
But
I couldn't give up 2 for. At this point, with Lamar's injury issues, how much time his availability's been shortened quite a bit.
But Baltimore,
if I'm the Ravens, I'll let him go. I'll let him walk.
They should. I mean,
just let him go.
At this point, but I think they're trying to prove a point. They want him.
Free agent.
They don't want to be the team. They don't want to basically pull a Jimmy Haslam and reset the quarterback market like Cleveland did with Deshaun Watson. So other teams are like, we're not going to pay that ransom. So they're telling Lamar, you go out and see if you can find a team to give you that, and if you can, then if Baltimore really wants to keep him, then they'll match it. If they don't, they'll let him go get the draft picks for him.
And I hope he plays. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fun to watch. I want him to play football, but there's other places that I'm surprised somebody didn't come out before. Like in Atlanta or somebody like that, and make a move to get him before they got tied up in yeah. It's the money. I'm telling you, it's the money, because it limits your roster. I mean, and a lot of teams have done it. A lot of teams have spent big money on quarterbacks, and it's just going to be hard, to build that roster from that point on. I don't know if they could ever do it. Put a cap on positions. And then that way your top 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks in the league could all just make the same money, and you wouldn't have to worry about negotiations, right? But then the only thing then is everybody would say, well, I'm in that category too, Even number 10 would be trying to climb into that top 5 category. Ned says, in Rodney's defense on Stabler, the Raiders won 70% of their games, 91 out of 130. games. Career games, 64% with 118 wins and 184. P.S. I am not in the parking lot. That's what it is. I am not in the parking lot. I will be soon, but only briefly, as we get out of here. Just trying to think of the other NFL teams. I don't know. Did the Cowboys not sign the defensive back Stephon Gilmore?
They did. They did.
From now, when I say this, I know he didn't go to school there. Out of South Carolina. But he didn't play his college ball at South Carolina. Where did he play college football? Was it South Carolina?
I think
so. Okay. I knew he was from the Rock Hill area.
Yeah, he went to South Point.
Yeah. But what? Okay, so they did. He did. I couldn't remember. I hit that one by accident. That he went to South Carolina, but I don't know. I can't tell you really who's got the other anybody else that.
Well, Cincinnati brought in a good offensive lineman.
They did
from Kansas City, right?
McGinchey did. Who got McGinchey? He left San Francisco and went somewhere, I think.
Did he?
I was thinking like he did.
He went to
for money. Denver.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's one of Sean Payton swiped up there to get him. While they're looking at that, I was going to go through the high school baseball scores from yesterday. I don't even know if many games. I do know not many games got played yesterday because a lot of those were moved to the day before.
It's better to go through Thursday.
Yeah, Asheboro did beat East Randolph yesterday, 11-8. As far as locals go, I know East Lincoln and Statesville got canceled late in the day, so they'll make it up sometime in the near future. That's the only one I think in the immediate area that was even scheduled for yesterday. I have never seen as many lopsided high school baseball scores as I have this particular season.
A lot of teams scoring in the 20s.
Yes, they are. I even saw a 32 to something a couple days ago. But on Thursday, well, that's a private school there. There's one's 29 to nothing. Two private schools that aren't from around this area. Let's see. Mallard Creek beat Hopewell 6-5. Here's your one. East Duplin beat Kinston 28-4. Swain County 14. Hiawassee Dam 6. Cherokee falls to Andrews 11-10. All these are Thursday scores. Madison over Mitchell 10-0. What else we got here in the western part of North Carolina? McDowell beats Irwin 9-2.
Well, I see Lincoln beat West Caldwell
7-2. Yep, 7-2. Stuart Kramer beat Bessemer City 19-1. Walkertown over T.W. Andrews 15-0. Here's one that took forever. Brevard beat Patton 11-10 on Thursday night.
Like Cherryville beat Shelby
7-2. That seems to be a popular score that you're finding over there. Crest. Here's the one I wanted you to get. You want to guess the Crest Hunter Huss score from Thursday? I'll give you a hint.
Was that in the 30s?
Crest won by 30. 32-2. No, they won by 29. 32-3. Yeah, that's just one of those that I'm talking about. A lot of teams scoring a lot of runs.
West Lincoln beat Newton Conover 11-1.
11-1. That's a big win for West Lincoln. They're kind of creeping back into the CVAC race. It seems to me like Bunker Hill, Maiden
beat Bandy's 5-3.
Yeah, that's a big win for Maiden. Bandy's have been pretty hot, but I can promise this: it's a free for all for whoever wins the CVAC conference. It's wide open because
it says Bunker Hill beat East Burke 5-4 in 10 innings.
Nobody's really been outstanding in the conference so far, so it should be a good conference baseball race, and. Believe it or not, Maiden beat West Caldwell this week in softball. It's not only the first loss that West Caldwell suffered in softball, but also the first game they gave up runs. And I think it was 8-5 in that game.
It says Bunker Hill, East Burke, and Maiden are all 3-1.
East Burke, Maiden, and Bunker Hill. Yeah. And then West Lincoln 2-2 maybe.
Yep, Bandy's and Newton both 2-2.
Yep. I'm telling you, it should be tight. It should be tight all season long. Hickory seems to be the front runner in the Western Foothills. They already have wins over their stiffest competition. They beat East Lincoln. Got Coach David Kraft his 500th win on Tuesday night. They beat East Lincoln, I think it was 6-3. Then last night they beat North Lincoln 2-1. So that's
this shows
taking control.
Hickory and St. Stephen's 2-0.
St. will be good. St. will be tough competition too.
It says Ford's 1-0, just one conference game. North Lincoln 1-1. East Lincoln just 0-1.
Ford was probably scheduled to play last night and did not get to. Would be my guess on that.
So Hickory 7-0 overall. Ford's 4-0 overall.
Yep. Did you hear what I said a little earlier about that? That Kraft at Hickory 500 wins as baseball coach. That's a good career. I think the last one, I remember Marty Curtis at Bunker Hill had what, 6 something when he retired. Do you remember, Lenny? Marty Curtis was a really great, consistent coach all those years up at Bunker Hill with the baseball team as well. Freedom and Avery County, no score reported. That could be all due to weather as well. Excuse me. Mount Airy 4, East Wilkes 3. Highland Tech beat Piedmont Charter 6-1. Brett already told you. Lincoln over West Caldwell 7-2. Maiden over Bandy's 5-3. Central Davidson loses to East Davidson 3-2. I'm just looking to see here if we got any more. East Surrey falls to Forbush 2-1. Here's another lopsided. New Bern beats Jacksonville. Northside Jacksonville 19-0. East Burke fell to Bunker Hill. You mentioned that one, didn't you, Brett? 5-4. That's how they moved into a tie. East Rutherford swept RS Central this week. That was huge for them. They play each other twice in the same week, and I think it was 5-0 on Tuesday. Then on Thursday it was 7-2. Another one of those 7-2 games. East Rutherford still ranked number 1 in the state as far as Max Preps rankings go. In the 2A are undefeated at this point. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you though, those other teams in their county are very good. RS Central's good and Chase is good as well. So we'll see how that works out moving ahead. But it was a big week for East Rutherford, winning twice over RS Central. And I don't know. All conferences are not having a conference tournament. Some are, some are not. So I don't know about that one because they're always they go with Hendersonville and people like that, don't they, Mike?
Oh yeah.
The Rutherford County schools do. So big week there. Big week in high school sports as well. Better mention this. Rick won't leave me alone if I don't. That the West Lincoln girls won an 8-team track meet just a couple days ago up at East Burke. They edged out second place Lincoln by 5 points. I think it was 106-105. East Burke dominated the boys' side. They won by over 100 points. Lincoln was second in it as well. But East Burke had somebody finish it looked like high in every event. And that's what you got to have in track. If you're going to score points, you got to have somebody participating in every event if you want to win as a team. Anyway, as far as that goes.
Just a little something from the junior college level. Gaston Rhinos, 2 games today against USC Lancaster at Sims, and then a doubleheader tomorrow at Sims against the same team.
It might be cool out and it might be breezy, but at least it won't be raining.
Right. Region 10 Division 1 play.
Should not. At least it should not be raining. How many events did you attend this past week, Mike? In Gaston College events?
A doubleheader up at Ladore.
Yeah.
With Caldwell versus the Rhinos in softball.
How'd that wind up?
Split.
Did it? Okay.
Yep.
And that was it. That was your
but
travel day.
Big day today, though. Yeah.
Big day
today and tomorrow.
You gonna help out today? Are you? What time they crank up?
2:00 today it seems.
Okay, 2:00. So yeah. How long those games run?
Well, in this format, it's 7 innings when they play a doubleheader.
Hour and a half each game. A little longer.
A little longer. Longer. About like a high school game, really. I mean, usually around 2 hours.
So Mike is telling you guys that he will miss the Duke game today. He's going to softball at 2:00, so he won't be watching.
Well,
the Duke game.
I'll watch it. I'll record it, of course, and if they win, I'll watch it. probably won't watch it.
Rodney says, speaking of NFL greats, and I did want to mention this, and I totally forgot, Bud Grant passed away last Saturday, not long after we went off the air. I think I got a message from somebody saying that Bud Grant has passed away, longtime Vikings coach. Did you know he played in the NBA and the NFL? No, I did not.
I didn't either.
He was on the 1950 Minneapolis Lakers championship team and later went on to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the first coach to guide the teams to both the Grey Cup and the Super Bowl, the only other being Marv Levy. He also holds the distinction, along with Levy and Dan Reeves, this is the bad one, to lose 4 Super Bowls in his career. But I will say this, you got to make 4 Super Bowls before you have the chance to lose
them.
To lose 4 Super Bowls. Scott Cloninger says Carson got that win against West Caldwell. That's good. Carson Cloninger picking up the win for his team. And I get one here. It says, let's see, anonymous source here. Bessemer City has literally 6 great players that live in their district that play at other schools. 4 are at Cherryville, and 2 of them are playing at Kings Mountain. That's why they get beat by double digits. Kids get to go where they want to go. Makes things so unbalanced for some of the teams. And,
that's true.
And when you have a squad like that and a unit like that, especially at a 1A school, you're going to have a hard time filling those voids at a 1A level a lot more than you would at a 3A or 4A level anyway. So did not know that.
Bessemer City baseball
jump ship.
Has struggled.
And I would like to know, what is the reason? Why are they not all playing together? Because
that's where they go to high school.
And I can't imagine the other schools,
community.
While the other schools will take you on because it's going to make them better, it also knocks, which one, 4 at Cherryville? So it knocked 4 guys at Cherryville, homegrowns that won't get to play. Right. Using different school programs to move around for whatever reason. But that makes it tough. That really makes it tough. So, Bessemer is losing just about all their games, like you said, by double
Go back
figures.
a couple years ago when East Rutherford, of course, had to put their football program on hiatus, right? Same thing, right? It couldn't fill
That's
a
a lot
roster.
of it. They had some kids going to Thomas Jefferson. They had some kids go to Chase. What happens is once 1 or 2 do it, the trickle-down effect happens because it's like, well, if they're not going to be here, I'm not going to play here. We're not going. We're not.
Domino
hate to say it, we're not going to be any good. But I'm gonna go somewhere else too, and then that just East Rutherford had to go a full season without a varsity football program. They got it back. They played varsity football this year, but it's almost like a new program or a rebuild.
One other thing, we didn't talk about the state championship games from last Saturday.
State championship games from last week. Which one? East Lincoln girls. Well, that was the week before. But West Row M was the one that beat them, and West Row M went on to win.
Went on to beat Rocky Mount by 10.
Rocky Mount.
10 points, I think it was.
Yep. The girls was one. Three of the West teams won the girls, right? Panther Creek was the only winner.
Yeah.
The 4A.
They defeated an undefeated Lake Norman team.
They did.
Yeah, Bishop McGinnis and Salisbury won 1A and 2A.
Salisbury and West Row M.
West Row M.
And then on the boys, it was 2 and 2. The Wilson Prep won the 1A.
Yeah.
The 2A was won by Farmville Central.
Yeah.
Shocker there, right? Could be reachable for the next few years though, because they got a good nucleus to build around. 2 best players were freshmen on that Reidsville team.
That's true.
And
Central Cabarrus.
3A Central Cabarrus beat a very good Northwood team, and the 4A went to
Mars Park.
Mars
Park.
Their first one, right?
First ever basketball title, and they defeated who in that? Richmond County.
Richmond.
Yeah, a lot of green.
The Central Cabarrus boys and West Rowan girls are out of the same conference.
That's right.
Both went undefeated
How about that?
on the
That's
season.
amazing.
How about that? That's interesting.
It looks like
as well.
Wilson Prep to me, guys, has sort of become the
new Winston-Salem
Prep of
the East.
Of the East.
Yep. Well, you remember during the COVID year, they got into the playoffs at 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-0 record.
4-0, and they finished 10-0.
Yeah.
State champs.
That's right.
So that's just kind of hard. I think they do. They are still playing, aren't
They're
they?
still
Brad?
Yeah.
But I don't.
Their
remember
coach
their name.
left
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
Big
and
guy.
They haven't been quite the same.
Yeah, they haven't
Yep.
been quite as
Since then.
good. Yeah.
Yep. That's
Well, there's just more and more schools like them.
there are.
They're
There
everywhere.
are. It's a fight.
Now.
I guarantee you, the big time recruiting wars over who
Yeah.
gets who. In that, better hurry, Jason, grab it.
Yeah.
Who gets
Speaking
who
of
in that?
recruiting to my schools like that, Combine Academy, their star player Trenton Flowers just committed to Louisville yesterday. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I had not heard that one yet. So going to go to Louisville. They need help in Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Ned says maybe they have been together for years in the for-profit business of travel ball, etc. The high school will take a transfer if only to get the money from the state government. That's coming from Ned this morning. So, I don't know what you do about it, if there is anything you can do, but I think you'll just see more and more of kids moving around because they have the freedom. They have the transportation. They have the way to do it. So, it's just a different. We know college athletics is different than it was when we were young, and we know pro is too. So why not high school? Eventually, it's going to trickle down to high school, right? And it's going to be done a different way as well. Only time will tell. Don't see any glaring headlines looking at me here. The one that Rodney's going to love, I just got to repeat it. Lazard happy with Jets, looks forward to Rodgers. So, is it going to happen? Do you think he would have went there without feeling 99% sure that his guy was going to be there, quarterbacking the team? Garoppolo injured while being introduced by the Raiders. I'm just kidding. Rodney. Just kidding, Rodney. Rodney's going to be in the parking lot in 30 seconds. Garoppolo injured while being introduced at the podium. Let's hope not. Rodney, he's actually texting me while we're talking about him here, and we got to go here after this one. Illinois best college basketball player just transferred to Louisville also. So there you go, Sky Clark moving on as well. And you'll see a lot of that in off-season too.
Oh, yeah.
Get that portal going, baby. Here we come.
Carolina's only got 3 guys.
Got 3 coming.
Entered the portal.
Entered.
The portal.
Yep, entered. Davis, Love, and Baycott all entered the portal. And one thing we know, Davis and
Love
are not going to the same.
No, they will not be going to the same school.
Not going to the same destination anymore. They always went to apartment B. But now they're going to move on and go somewhere else. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Glad to have Jason and Lenny in here as well. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.